The 49ers have the NFL terrified. After their 41-23 playoff win versus the Seattle Seahawks, the 49ers have now won 11 games in a row. The 49ers have had the best defense in the league this year. Their D-line is a quarterback's nightmare. But in this game versus the Seahawks, it wasn't the defense that won them this game. It was the offense, led by last pick in the draft, Brock Purdy. The first half was a little shaky for the 49ers, especially Brock Purdy. He missed some throws and was looking maybe a little nervous, which is totally understandable though. You're a rookie making your first playoff start, which also happens to be only your 6th NFL start as well. So the 49ers go into halftime down 1 point. At that point, I saw a lot of people online flaming Purdy, saying he was playing bad, that he was overrated. Like, I don't know how a Mr. Irrelevant can be overrated. They're literally the last pick in the draft. They have no expectations. But in the second half, the 49ers turned it on. They put up 25 points. Purdy had 4 total touchdowns and 332 passing yards in the game. San Francisco ended the game with 505 total yards on offense, even after missed throws and opportunities left on the field. They weren't even playing their best football, and they put up over 500 yards on offense and over 40 points. It's insane. Purdy was their 3rd string quarterback to start the season. He was not getting reps with the first team until Jimmy went down. It's not like he's had a whole offseason and training camp and first half of the season worth of practices to build chemistry and timing with these guys. He's thrown at least 2 touchdown passes in every single game he started, and he only has 2 total interceptions as a starter. I think a big misconception about Purdy is he's not a game manager. He's actually elevating this offense, which makes this team so scary. This offense can run the ball down your throats with CMC, but then call a play action pass and have Purdy throw it deep, which he's not afraid to do and actually does pretty well. Purdy also has been excellent at using his legs to pick up yards too. This offense isn't one that is just full of speed. These are speed guys, yes, but they are also big time blockers. Debo, Kittle, Ayuk all throw aggressive blocks. They are wearing defenses down with their speed and their physical play. Quick shout out to Ayuk though, he had some key blocks in that game versus Seattle, some big blocks, also some big couches, so he was really doing it all, exemplifying that speed and physicality of this 49ers offense. The defense didn't play their best game of the season versus the Seahawks, especially in the first half, but they made the key plays when it mattered. They forced a Geno Smith fumble in field goal range, and that really let the 49ers run away with the momentum and win the game. You could just tell the Seahawks were so demoralized after that play. They never looked the same after it. The San Francisco defense was really able to shut them down in that second half. There are so many ways for the 49ers to beat teams on offense, so many different things they can do, so many different players that can make game-wrecking impacts. Then they pair that with this really elite defense. Who's stopping them? I will say the biggest weakness on this team is their secondary, but with this D front being so good, if they get home on the quarterback fast enough, a weaker secondary isn't going to be that big of a problem. And let's think about how the 49ers match up with these other elite teams in the league. With the way Josh Allen turned the ball over versus the Dolphins and the way Skylar Thompson played versus the Bills defense, I think the 49ers could match up really well and beat this Bills team. What about the Eagles? They don't have the best run defense. I could see CMC going off in a game versus them. The pass rush would really need to get home versus the Eagles though, because of that combo of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. But think of what the bread and butter of the Philadelphia offense is. It's that run pass option. The 49ers have the best run defense. So if they stop that run, you can't really run a run pass option because everyone knows that run's not really going to work. Also, just think of how long the 49ers offense could keep that Eagles offense on the sideline with them running the ball and just chewing up the clock. The 49ers did lose versus the Chiefs earlier this year, but San Francisco had a ton of starters out with injury. If this defensive front could do to Mahomes what the Bucs defensive front did to him 2 Super Bowls ago, just relentless amounts of pressure on him, they could win. Also, the Chiefs defense has looked not so great towards the end of this season. I think Purdy could play pretty well against them. I would say I think the 2 toughest opponents though for the 49ers are going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs. Obviously, they're not going to play any of the AFC teams unless they make the Super Bowl, but I think the Eagles and Chiefs are going to be the toughest matchups for them. And I haven't really talked about the coaching of this team yet in this video because I feel like we all know how well coached this team is on both sides of the ball. Kyle Shanahan deserves so much credit. We all know how good of a coach he is. and he just continues to show it this year. This 49ers team really changes so much for that NFL paradigm of you need an elite quarterback to be really good. The 49ers are undefeated with Brock Purdy under center. Yes, Purdy has played really well, but he's not elite. At least not yet. He's young. I don't want to say he's never going to be elite, but we know right now he's not elite. He's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Patrick Mahomes. Do we think teams are going to worry less about trading up for quarterbacks in the draft now? Are we going to see more teams focus on building a well-rounded roster and really focus on having great coaches? I think it's going to be something really interesting to look at going forward. If you're still here, I really appreciate you, and feel free to subscribe. I wrote down a goal that I would have 100,000 subscribers in a year. If you want to join this awesome community and help us reach this goal, feel free to do that. I appreciate you watching. Peace.